Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, man, I'm brushing like crazy, but my teeth just don't seem as bright as they used to be? Well, the culprit might just be hiding in your everyday diet. Today, we're going to dive into 12 common foods and drinks that could be staining your smile. But more importantly, we'll talk about what you can do to enjoy them without worrying about their impact. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with a quick look at the science of why this even happens. Then, we'll get to the fun part, the actual culprits in your cup and on your plate. And we'll wrap it all up with a super simple plan so you can keep enjoying all this stuff worry-free. All right, first things first. Let's get into the science of it all. Because honestly, once you get why your smile dulls, figuring out how to stop it becomes a whole lot easier. Okay, so it turns out stains basically come in two flavors. You've got intrinsic stains, which are deep down inside the tooth, think genetics or certain medications. But what we're talking about today are the extrinsic stains. These are the ones on the surface, the ones that come from all the yummy food and drinks we have. And here's the good news, these are the ones we can actually do something about. So how does this all go down? Well, it's basically a three-part attack. You've got these things called chromogens. They're just compounds with a ton of color that love, and I mean love, to stick to your tooth enamel. Then you've got tannins. Think of these like a primer on a wall. They help the color from the chromogens really grab on. And to top it off, you have acids, which kind of rough up the enamel, making it the perfect sticky surface for those stains to set in. Okay, now that we've got the how down, let's talk about the what. Where are these sneaky stain makers coming from? Let's start with what might be hiding in your favorite cup. And yeah, no big surprises for our first two culprits. That morning coffee or tea, it's probably the #1 suspect. For so many of us, it's one of the biggest contributors to, a less than bright smile. Yup, both are just packed with those acids and sticky tannins we were just talking about. But here's something that might surprise you. Some teas can actually stain your teeth more than coffee does. I know, right? And it's not just black tea giving you that yellow tint. Even super healthy green tea can leave behind grayish stains over time. Kind of wild. But hey, it's not just the morning routine we have to think about. Let's get into 4 more culprits. These are the drinks we might have later in the day. We're talking everything from a nice glass of wine to that sports drink you grab after a workout. They can all pack a serious staining punch. So red wine is pretty obvious, right? It's a double whammy full of both those deep colors and the tannins. But here's the real plot twist. White wine. Now, it doesn't have the color to stain your teeth directly, but it's super acidic. So what it does is it basically preps your teeth, making them way more vulnerable to stains from other things you eat or drink later. So the big takeaway here is that any acidic drink, no matter the color, can be part of the problem. All right, let's move on from what we're drinking to what we're eating. Because yeah, it's not just about beverages. A lot of really healthy, really delicious foods are on this list too. Let's jump into the next 2. And this is where it gets a little tricky, A lot of the foods we eat because they're so good for us, packed with antioxidants and all that great stuff, are also the ones with the most intense colors. I'm talking about things like vibrant blueberries, blackberries, or those deep red beets. They're nutritional powerhouses. But the very things that make them so colorful and healthy, those chromogens we talked about, are the same things that can stain your smile. It's a classic case of benefit versus downside. But let me be clear, the health benefits are so worth it. The key is not to stop eating them. It's just about knowing how to manage the staining. And don't worry, we are definitely getting to that. And it's not just whole foods either. Let's talk about the flavorful finishers, the sauces and spices that make our favorite dishes pop. This brings us to the last 4 culprits that round out our list of 12. This is such a perfect example of how the stuff that makes food amazing, that rich red of a tomato sauce, the dark umami of soy sauce, or that beautiful yellow of curry, is often the same stuff that can stain our teeth. They're acidic, they're packed with color, and sometimes they're kind of sticky, which helps them hang around. Okay, so we've gone through the whole list of culprits, but here's the most important part of this whole explainer. This is not about making a do not eat list. Absolutely not. It's all about awareness, not avoidance. So now let's get into the good stuff, the actual practical solutions. So here's a big question for you, and I'm willing to bet a lot of us get this one wrong. Picture this. You've just finished eating something acidic, like berries or pasta with tomato sauce. What's your first instinct? What should you do right away? The answer is wait.
I know. It sounds counterintuitive, right? But brushing right away can actually cause more damage. That acid temporarily weakens your enamel, and if you go in there with a toothbrush, you're basically just scrubbing that acid deeper into the surface. This is such a critical point. You gotta give your mouth at least 30 minutes. That gives your saliva time to work its magic, neutralize the acid, and let your enamel harden back up.
So here it is, your simple 4-step defense plan. Remember, we're being strategic, not restrictive. Step 1, rinse with water right after you're done. Just swish and swallow. 2, use a straw for things like iced coffee or sodas to minimize contact. 3, pair your foods smartly. Having some cheese with that wine can actually help neutralize the acid. And 4, wait to brush. Give your enamel that 30-minute break. See? Super simple stuff.
Okay, let's wrap this all up into your proactive smile plan. The goal here is to keep your smile bright and healthy, so you never have to think twice about enjoying all the incredible food and drink out there.
The big takeaway today is that a bright smile is all about awareness, not avoidance. Simple little habits, like rinsing with water, can make a huge difference. And timing is everything, right? Wait that 30 minutes to brush. It's really all about empowering yourself with a little bit of knowledge and some smart habits, so you can be mindful without being fearful. Now, for those of you who are really serious about taking your oral health to the next level, I want to share something with you. All these habits are your first line of defense, for sure, but having a healthy environment inside your mouth, a balanced oral microbiome, can also play a huge role. There's this oral probiotic called Prodentim that's designed to support that natural environment, which in turn can help your teeth resist staining from a lot of these foods we've talked about. The team over at Prodentim is actually offering a special discount and a 60-day money-back guarantee for our viewers. You can check out the link in the description to see how it works and how you can support your oral health and keep that smile bright. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one small change you can make today that will lead to a brighter smile tomorrow? Maybe it's just keeping a water bottle at your desk to rinse after that morning coffee. Or maybe tonight you'll set a timer and wait that 30 minutes to brush. It's the small things that add up. That's all for today's explainer. Thanks so much for watching, and I really hope this gives you the tools you need to smile just a little bit brighter. Until next time.